What is up, everybody, and welcome to Studio de Jeffrey. Yesterday on Twitter, I asked you guys for Cowboys questions, and did you ever come through? I got a bunch of questions from you guys that I think make for some really nice Cowboy topics here. Happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way. Question number one. I'd like to shout out Colin on Twitter, and he asked about the evil, bad, evil Philadelphia Eagles. He said, all this Eagles hype is gross, but I get it. If Philly is the biggest threat to the Cowboys in the NFC East, what mismatches do both teams present to each other as currently constructed? All right, let's do it. Cowboys versus Eagles. Here is the most important thing to remember about Cowboys versus Eagles. The Eagles got better, for sure, over the course of the draft. Having A.J. Brown be added to your team, that's pretty darn good. That's pretty good. He's really good. Picking Jordan Davis in the top 15, that'll help your defensive line. Nakobe Dean in the third round, if he's healthy, that's a starter. So the Eagles got better. Here's the other thing to remember about the Cowboys and the Eagles. They played twice last year, and the Cowboys won 41-21 and 51-26. Eagles got better. Whatever. The wild card for the Eagles is going to be Jalen Hurts, obviously. If the Eagles have a quarterback as good as the Cowboys, do they have as good a roster? Yeah, I think the Eagles probably have a better roster than the Cowboys. They have a really good defensive line with depth. They have a really good offensive line. They've got two good receivers and a good tight end. They got a good roster. Dak's better than Jalen Hurts. So the Cowboys will be the favorite in the NFC East again, despite the fact that, yeah, I like what the Eagles did in the draft. I love adding A.J. Brown to a team. I love adding Jordan Davis to a team. Especially, you want to know the mismatch or the problem for the Cowboys? The problem for the Cowboys against the Eagles is going to be their defensive front, especially on the interior, is Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave, and their third D tackle is Jordan Davis. That's pretty tough. So Tyler Biotish, Tyler Smith, there's your tough matchup when the Cowboys play the Philadelphia Eagles. So, we'll see. You never know. Eagles did a good job in the draft. Eagles are better than they were a year ago. They have a good roster. Do they have a good quarterback is going to determine if they have a chance to win the NFC East. Nathan, can you talk about how Mel's an idiot and doesn't know how the players fit into our team? Peep his draft grade analysis. Want to know your thoughts. Is he one of the guys that said Tyler Smith was going to play right tackle? I saw people trying to analyze the pick and pretending that Tyler Smith was going to play right tackle when he's 100% going to be the starting left guard here. Jason, Jeff, I want to play Warzone with you. That would require me getting back on Warzone. I haven't been on in a long time, but I probably could. I got time. I think tomorrow I'll be on 97.1 The Eagle. I think somebody's out on the Ben and Skin show, so I'm just going to go party with my friends again from 2 to 5 tomorrow. iHeartRadio app if you're out of the listening area. Thank you, Rick. Father Time, are the Cowboys trying to be good this year or next year? It's been an interesting offseason. They're trying to be good both. I do love the conspiracy theory, though, that I'll tell you about in a second. First, I want to thank my partners at BetOnline. They continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. I want to bet on the Mavericks, but being down 0-2 is not fun. I want to bet on the Stars, but that would require them scoring a goal. But you get all the latest sports developments, updated odds on the NBA, NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball, fights, next season's NFL futures. You can bet on the Cowboys. Bet on the Cowboys to win the East. And don't forget this weekend, the Run to the Roses is on at the Kentucky Derby. Bet Online, your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, live betting, favorite Vegas casino and poker games, and it's easy to get started. Head to the website or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to get your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. I love the conspiracy theory that they're not even trying to win this year because they're just getting set up for Sean Payton next year. But that doesn't really work. It doesn't work. Like, you're not going to sabotage a draft to give yourself a reason to fire a head coach. They're going to try to win this year. I promise. Vin Man. Jeff, if you were the GM, who would you have chosen in the first round? You're gonna make me go back and look at who was available. I think it would have been Tyler Linderbaum or George Karloftis, I believe, was available. So it would have been one of those two. But that's behind us, sir. We must not dwell. We move forward and we hope that Tyler Smith is a badass. I was actually just listening to Duke Manyweather talk about Tyler Smith with Dave Hellman and Kelsey Charles, my dear, dear friends on the Star at Night show. And yeah, they're going to need to, in a hurry, get Tyler Smith's feet and hands right, or he could get off to a bumpy start. But that's what you hope happens. And then he develops into your left tackle of the future, and he is a people mover in the run game, and you go rock and roll that way. Will you stress to our naysayers within Cowboys Nation that this year's draft was solid? And Will McClay we trust? From Ryan. Yeah, that's all it comes down to, really, is the Cowboys feel good about what they did in the first round. They feel good about what they did in the second round. I am a believer in, well, what's been researched and kind of proven over the years. And it doesn't mean this is going to happen with every pick, but overwhelmingly on average, if you go against the consensus and make a reach pick, it usually turns out to be a reach pick. You need that to not be true in the first round, and that the Cowboys had the player right and that he's ready to rock. And to a lesser extent, Sam Williams in the second round, who is, I think he was a second round-ish player. I had him graded at the end of the second round. But you need them to be right on those two. Outside of that, I think they had a really nice draft. Jalen Tolbert was a wonderful pick. Day 3, you had so many darts to throw, and they threw them in so many different ways after either traits or a high floor guy or whatever the case may be, an injured guy, Damone Clark. On the whole, if you had to give a grade, I'd give the Cowboys draft like a C. I thought that need made them chase after a couple of things, and it could turn out that it goes really good. Coach, McCarthy doctrine has flipped the core here in 3 years. Yeah. We'll see. I don't hate McCarthy like everybody else does. Jay, give me your Cowboys starting front 7 on defense once Jabril Cox is healthy. Your front 7, well, it's debatable in a couple of spots, isn't it? Tank Lawrence is your left defensive end. Neville Gallimore is your 3 technique defensive tackle. I will say Carlos Watkins is your 1 tech, your nose tackle. And you could go Dorrance Armstrong or Dante Fowler as your starting right defensive end. I'll say Dorrance Armstrong, but DQ may love him some Fowler, and it may be Fowler. And a defensive tackle, it could be Osa at the 3 tech and playing Gallimore a little out of position at the 1 tech if you want to have them both on the field. But I think that's about right. I think that's about right. Next, Anderson on Twitter. How do you want us to use Jalen Tolbert? Slot, Y, X? Letters are confusing to me because when I was in college, we called the tight end the Y. You had X and Z. And I played the slot. What letter did we put on me? I think it was a T. Whatever. Jalen Tolbert's going to play everywhere. And that's one of my favorite things about him. He's a really well-rounded player. He just happened to play at South Alabama, but he was incredibly productive. He's a good route runner. He's got good hands. He's good after the catch. Jalen Tolbert's a good player. You'll start the season without Michael Gallup. James Washington, until Gallup is back, I would imagine will be one of your starters. And I think you want James Washington as one of your outside guys, not in the slot, which means you can play games with Jalen Tolbert and CeeDee Lamb. Which one do you want playing in the slot? Which one do you want playing outside? Because they can both do both, life is good. And I think Tolbert will play all over the place. Is Tolbert better than Gallup? From day one, I think that's kind of a reckless thing to go with. As a prospect, I had him graded similarly. So, yeah, I expect that level of player. They're different players. Gallup is more of a physical, tough, not that Jalen Tolbert doesn't have that, but I think he's more of a precision player, more of a route running player. And so he's a good pick, and he's going to play all over the place. And I'm trying to figure out, I think I would want CeeDee to keep playing the slot. I'm a firm believer. Put your best player in the slot. It just, team, it's harder to cover the slot than it is to cover an outside guy. I am a firm believer in put your best player in the slot. So I hope CeeDee Lamb plays it a bunch and you can move him around though. You think if everything resides with KJ that he'll take AB's job this year? Um yeah, it's really weird when somebody's been murdered and you have a player that is in some way involved or around it. But yes, he's still a second round pick that at the moment is on the Cowboys roster and at workouts, and they would like their second round pick to be a starter. So, in the perfect world, they would like him to go take Anthony Brown's job. Now, there's probably enough going on that it won't be gifted to him. He would have to earn that bad boy. Kilgore coming through with the pool fund. Thanks for joining in, brother. You the best. I don't really give people forewarning of when I'm going to go live. That's the beauty of being a content creator is I just decide when do I feel like walking in this room, sitting down and hitting go live. But I appreciate you guys swinging through and being a part of it. Shane, scale of 1 to 20. Your confidence that we'll get 4 legit starters / key contributors out of this draft class. 4? Long term? Tyler Smith, he's going to be a starter right now. So that's 1. Sam Williams, I don't think is going to be a starter. You hope he is a key contributor this year, and you definitely plan for him to be a key contributor later. But Sam Williams, I bet, is currently your 4th edge guy, give or take. So not immediate impact there. Jalen Tolbert, I think, is immediate contributor, starter, impact 2. Outside of that, you're kind of hoping at it. Like Let's-Go, maybe Let's-Go could end up being a starting offensive tackle. Damone Clark could end up being a big-time contributor. Give me a full list. Give me a full list. I'll tell you if we can find 4 here. Tyler Smith. Yes. Legit key contributor. Sam Williams. Long-term, decent chance that he's a key contributor. Jalen Tolbert. Yes. Jake Ferguson. Wisconsin tight end. Decent chance he's your number 2 tight end this year and not unreasonable that he's a starting tight end a year from now. Damone Clark. Ridgeway could be a contributor, the defensive tackle. So, outside of that, it's just the darts that you threw. Like Matt Let's-Go, Deron Bland, Devin Harper is one of those. Is one of those a guy that develops into something that could become an NFL starter? But I think you're barking about the right number. Somewhere around the 4. Somewhere around the 4. Daniel Potter, I'm worried about the new lineup the Eagles have for D-line. Well, the thing is, it's the same lineup. They're not like Jordan Davis ain't taking Fletcher Cox or Javon Hargrave's spot. They just got another dude. They just have more of them. Marquise Bell. That's a good call, Greg. Undrafted free agent Marquise Bell has a chance to be a dude. That would be nice. He's got a legitimate shot at that. The kicker in UDFA, the Texas Tech kicker, is going to be your kicker, I bet. That gives you a chance. Any expectations for Nahshon Wright this season? I do not have any expectations for Nahshon Wright. He's one of the guys that I'll just have to be wrong on. Like, I thought he was a draftable player, but 3rd round was early, and I'm just being that tall at corner is hard, man. It's hard. So I know he checks some of the boxes that Dan Quinn likes, but I don't anticipate Nahshon Wright is going to be a starter for the Cowboys. Love to be wrong. Live to be wrong. That would be good. All right, team. I don't really have anything else today, do I? Let me see. Do you see Dallas winning all 6 NFC East games this year? No. I'll say 5-1 or 4-2. Just because it's hard to go 6-0 all the time. Even the other teams are bad, but the Eagles are improved. Giants have a bad quarterback, and that hurts, but they at least drafted well. Washington with Wentz, you should beat them twice, but football's hard. Football's hard. SP, based on no other signings or trades, what's the Cowboys' record this year? 10-7. maybe 11-6 because of your division. You gotta realize the thing that's going to be better this year is Dak. That's the thing that's going to be better. For all the other stuff that you talk about, are they better on paper? No, they're not better on paper without Lyle Collins, Amari Cooper, Randy Gregory. They're not better on paper. But the quarterback's not coming off a major injury and then getting hurt once in camp and once in the middle of the season. The quarterback is what's going to make you better. Do you think they sign a guy like Darrell Williams or Sam Tevy for O-line depth or another receiver? Offensive line depth at the moment. You have Josh Ball as a backup. Well, let's go as a backup. McGovern, if he makes it out of camp. Farniok. Lindstrom, maybe. I don't think they need another offensive lineman, but they certainly could sign another offensive lineman or another receiver. But man, they already got a whole bunch of receivers in that room competing for a roster spot. That can't be better without an O-line. So be better on the O-line. Be better. He's the first round pick on it. Tyler Smith, save us. Save us. All right. I love you guys. I hope that you have a great day. This presentation was brought to you by my friends at Bet Online. Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through, so be cool to everyone. I love you. Bye.